And the sad reality is nobody gives.
It won't always be like this. The Lord will perfect that concerning.
Honestly, chat, I just wanted to come and talk to you guys and see how your mental has been. Mine has been declining, which is why I haven't been posting the last couple of weeks. And it's so unfortunate to think about all of what's happening within the world right now, specifically as it pertains to the United States and like our nation. And like I I am internalizing a lot of what's happening around me, um, and what's happening in situations that I'm a part of that are out of my control. It doesn't help the fact that I have lived through so much, especially as a person that is neurodivergent, going through, the motions of their day to day, having to consider what's happening politically. And then on top of that, all of what's happening politically within our nation is affecting my growth as a adult in his 20s. And then there are a lot of components to consider. Like on top of the struggles that you have to face day to day, you have to consider the economic state of the world and how that influences or impacts your ability to sustain yourself. I don't want to have to consider any of this, honestly. And it goes back into the conversation that I had prior in my video about the nation wanting a black savior again and the times that we're currently living in. Though you're experiencing what you're experiencing, nobody's coming to save you, and that's the unfortunate truth. And to be honest, I had a depressive episode recently that made me think about that and think about the fact that you have to ultimately want to live. I don't want to live. I don't want to be here. I didn't ask to be here. But these are the cards that I'm dealt. So it's like, are you going to keep playing the game? Are you going to subscribe to something that ultimately is going to be the demise of you and your existence? Um, and I know that I'm not the only one that feels this way. And I wanted to kind of see where you guys' heads were as it relates to everything that's going on, personally and apart from you. Things that are happening in your lives that are impacting you directly and indirectly. Because I'm not okay. You know what I mean? And I know that it's okay to not be okay, especially when it pertains to men feeling and allowing their emotions to show up in a way that isn't familiar. And I think that that goes into a conversation about repetition compulsion. Um, I was thinking about that recently too, and like not wanting to repeat certain patterns just because I'm familiar with them or they're comfortable to me. Um, it led me to wanting to fast for the month of February, and so far I'm doing pretty good. I'm not eating any sugars, at least processed foods. I'm not having sex. Like anything that isn't thoroughly serving me, and any traits that I'm not developing that are healthy, hobbies that I'm developing healthily. I don't want to do it. That's something that you have to consider. What is the trajectory of the person that you're wanting to be in the future? What does that look like? What does that pipeline look like? Also, how are you going to position yourself to a place to where that makes sense for your journey? And I know that I talked about like all of what's going on in the world right now and how it's impacting me. And I know that a lot of you feel the same way. Even though I do feel this way, I'm going to encourage all of us to keep going. And I know that the pivot may be hard and it may be weird to try to like outsource, but just try to extend each and every possible resource that you can. I know that I reached out to my following on socials and asked them for any resources because I feel like I'm in a dark space, you know what I mean, or a potentially dangerous space mentally. And if you can't lean on your community, if you don't necessarily have a community that you've built, that is secure enough, then yeah, I just encourage you to try to find every resource that you can. I know that I'm a part of 3 marginalized and oppressed groups, so for me, um, I can try to source resources um, within those demographics. But yeah, I think that specifically Black people are going through a lot. Black queer people are going through a lot, and Black disabled people are going through a lot. And though we're sitting this fight out, physically for the most part, there's so much work that has to be done. It is trying at times because I'm like, dang, like I don't know how to overcome my anxiety. I feel anxious. I feel anxious making this video. I can't even lie to you. Like I'm just like I don't know what to do at this point. And after having my breakdown, it put into perspective that none of this even matters, bro. None of it matters. And I feel intensely, and I feel like I can't escape it. But ultimately, regardless of how I feel in this moment, nothing matters. I'm wanting to live a life that will warrant me being able to live through it and transition apart from it organically and naturally. Um, but every day I feel tested. It's like I just want to maintain a simple life for myself and just be able to exist. I can work. I have no issue working. I can invest into my community. I can engage socially. Um, but ultimately, I'm just not well. You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of us aren't. So, regardless, I wanted to just pop in and say, I see you. And yeah, regardless, I'm sending each and every one of you light and love on your journey. And I will see you in the next one. I've honestly been trying to push out content for you, but I just couldn't muster up enough energy to create a video. I was like, you know what, my first video back in a couple weeks, it's gonna be me being true to my community and letting y'all know what's going on. So yeah, I ask that you give me grace. Nonetheless, life goes on. Again, nothing matters. Um, yeah, peace.
It won't always be like this. The Lord will perfect that concerning